Deo, Deo.
Baby's got a booger and a shooter and that shake it won't go down. Baby's got a booger and a shooter and that shake it won't go down. Corrosion, corrosion to her thighs, erosion, erosion of her pride. Baby's got a shooter, baby's got corrosion now, corrosion now. Baby's got it.
Hello, good morning. Always a battle with this guy. Hi. I have some googly eyeballs. I'm gonna put on the other side, so then one day I'm gonna pop them up, and you're gonna be like, "Hey," But right now he's sleepy. So yeah, I always like to look at the levels in here, and it sounds like I'm blaring it out, and then I go to make the clips, and it's like, okay, or maybe I'm just old. Happy Friday. Good morning, everybody. We got Ed in the house. Chuck's here. Fingerman, what's up? It is Friday morning. I hope the internets are doing a little better than they were Wednesday. I was going to do a little bit. Anonymous, what's up? I was going to do a bit where I started the show going, and then, the thing over there in the Middle East, and then this guy, he had this thing, and he blew up this place, and then there was this car bomb over there, and then you saw this guy, and then all of a sudden, 1 frame per second. Rick, Willie, rolling in late to church as usual. We told you not to slam the door on the way in. We're talking about the Lord. Wait a minute. Jack Lord. Texas T. Chuck says sound is good from here, but I'm in lower Earth orbit. Your planetary internet quality may vary. No shit. I don't know. We had some sort of thing the other day, and then I changed nothing in the thing, so I'm assuming it was the internet thing, because I checked afterwards. Anyway, I did a little tinkering. They have a satanic church, Rick. You should know that. It's in the handbook. Jesus. Well, Satan. Anyway. Full disclosure, folks. This may be a little bit more interesting or a little bit more dull, depending on your perspective today, because I just took a little random hit off of my cannabis vape, and lo and behold, there was it's like finding cash in the couch, or like a 10 spot in your pants in the wash, right? It was like boom. So anyway, and for a while I've been like not partaking because I take it medicinally. I know people are, yeah, me too, man. Woo. But I mean, I do. I take it medicinally and for the fun too, but mostly for the medicinal. But when you take it, you reach a limit, your tolerance, right? So where you get to the point where it's like, okay, it's going to take more in order for me to maintain this, because you hit the ceiling. That's as far as that's going to go. So you have to save your money, and you have to lay off for a while, and then let your head clear out for a while, and it's good, and sometimes, and then when you need to get back on it later, it's fine. So like I was just playing around with that, and all of a sudden, boo! So, woohoo, happy Friday. Moose said, just finished work, but got to put me tools away. Very good. All right. I'm going to assume that's some sort of like UK slang for your junk, but I don't know. I'm not Mr. International. All right. But we do have a lot of international news today. I am the king of segue in some ways. We have a lot to get to today. So enough of my jibber jabber on this bullshit. So big swap yesterday. Even though the U.S. and Russia aren't technically at war with each other, Here's a proxy war. I mean, they're at war, but it's a bitch war, right? They get their little bitches out there, and we're basically Russia's attacking NATO, one of NATO's bitches, right? It's thing. No offense to any Ukrainians out there who are just like, hey, I am not the bitch. I'm like, all right, you may be cool and may not like what's going on over there too. So I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about. I'm talking about the not D's or the not B's or that thing in between, the not C's. Those people. I told you it was going to get a little crazy. This might be like a 4-hour show. Hang on, folks. Pack a lunch. All right. Dave DeCamp from antiwar.com talking about U.S. and Russia conducting a prisoner swap. Like I said, they're not officially at war. It's a proxy war, but there are still people like political prisoners. And he tells us the U.S. and Russia conducted a major prisoner swap yesterday that freed Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan. Gershkovich was arrested in March 2023 on charges of espionage, which were rejected by the U.S. government and the Wall Street Journal. In July, he was convicted to serve a 16-year prison sentence, which happened as the U.S. and Russia were quietly negotiating the prisoner swap. Whelan was arrested in Moscow in 2018 when he was found with a USB in his pocket. Yeah, that's what the ladies call it, too. That contained classified information. He maintained his innocence and said the USB was planted on him, but was convicted on espionage charges and ordered to serve a 16-year sentence as well in 2020. 2 other U.S. citizens were also released, along with 5 Germans and 7 Russian citizens who were held in their own country in exchange. I guess these were Russian citizens that wanted to defect. They were like, in exchange, 8 Russians who were imprisoned in the U.S., Germany, Slovenia, Norway, and Poland were released. In comments on the swap at the White House, walking dirty diaper Joe Biden said some of the Russians who were freed from Russia were connected to Alexei Navalny, an opposition figure who died earlier this year while serving a 19-year sentence at a penal colony, giggity, in Siberia. Biden accused Putin of killing Navalny, but it was later revealed that the U.S. intelligence agencies didn't believe that was the case, and Ukrainian intelligence said he likely died of a blood clot. So if the CIA said they didn't kill one of their own, I don't know, they probably did. That blood clot don't just like magically appear unless, you're a doctor and you probably know how it works. The exchange marks the second high-profile prisoner swap U.S. and Russia have conducted since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022. The previous deal freed WNBA star Brittany Griner in exchange for Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. Biden said diplomacy, blah, 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 but still reject the idea of direct diplomacy with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Said he wouldn't speak with the Russian leader. He's probably not speaking with anybody at this point. And his vice president probably shouldn't be speaking with anybody either when she goes off the cuff. Here it comes. Oops, wrong one. So... yeah, Kamala has that laugh of like the nanny, the cackle of the nanny in Queens. That's a true story. I listen to cackles a lot. I'm a cackle expert. So U.S. being the Darwin Award for Politics goes to the U.S. For this one. You do a good deed, getting people out. Nice exchange, little glass notes there, kind of. And then you go back to this where you got the U.S. threatens to hit NATO applicant with sanctions. Oh boy, this is from RT. Relations with Georgia have deteriorated since the country passed its so-called foreign agents law. And also, Georgia has deteriorated since the Coca-Cola plant went down. And them Braves, man, they ain't never going to win another World Series. Dale Murphy. Sorry, wrong, Georgia. That would be the country of Georgia. I don't know how to say it in the Russian accent, but it's fun to say Georgia. The U.S. may introduce sanctions against Georgia to force the former Soviet Republic to change its policy course in line with Western countries. That's from Deputy Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs, James O'Brien. I get the guy who puts his name on the door makes a lot of money. Told the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on Wednesday. Relations between Washington and Tbilisi, Washington and Georgia, deteriorated after Georgia passed a so-called foreign agents law in May. Foreign agents law. All right, that's in particular. The legislation obliges non-governmental organizations, media outlets, and individuals who receive more than 20% of their funding from abroad to register as entities, quote, promoting the interests of a foreign power. And to disclose their donors or face fines of up to $9,500. I'm saying the 9,500's the least worrisome out of that group. He said, you asked about sanctions. We are actively considering our options there. I won't preview anything, but we're looking at it, O'Brien told the committee, noting that Washington has been reviewing aid provided to the South Caucasus nation. He expressed hope that the Georgian authorities would change their policy in the near future. Hey, man, you might want to reconsider some of your policies there, Tbilisi, Georgia. Adding that Washington is ready to support everything that will contribute to fair and free parliament elections in Georgia this fall. Oh, look at that. That's the best part. That they're ready to support everything that will contribute to fair and free parliament elections. All right, just put that in the little one quotes there because a Rumble stream stop, it was bound to happen. Rumble's been having some problems. If it doesn't come on, we're still on Rockfin and YouTube. So anyway, he said you're active back. Okay, so yeah, so it's a shakedown. That's a shakedown for, hey, you want to be in NATO, you got to play ball, right? What's this, what's this foreign agents law here? That's going to, it's going to make a lot of people ask a lot of questions we don't want asked. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's pretty wild. That's like, hey, it is a mafia, right? It is a protection racket. It's like, hey, Georgia, you if you want the protection of the family, you're gonna have to drop some of these, shall we say, inconvenient laws of yours. All right, and then maybe we can do business, or you try it on your own. And look at this rocket that just, oopsie sauce, just went all over the place and hit you right in the fucking face. I don't think that's the song Ray Charles was talking about when he had Georgia on his mind. Anywho, speaking of Germans, a new poll out. This is from Dave DeCamp again. He does his own video things too. When he does like his 2 or 3 of like 1 million stories that he's doing on YouTube. I think it's antiwar.com, but you can just search for Dave DeCamp and look for it too. And he has it all, and he goes through it too, because he's the one who wrote it, and he can give you more in depth on that stuff when he's reporting. So I'm just kind of giving you the highlights here. So a poll shows Germans oppose the new U.S. missile deployment over there. Turns out they don't like being targets, the potential targets, because the Germans aren't stupid. They have internet. They know that BRICS is coming. The financial behemoth is rising, and with that, it's going to be the military might behind it. And they've seen the U.S. in action, man, and it's like. The U.S. I mean, if they got the same training as the IDF, then you understand why they don't win wars anymore, because they are just, close quarters with unarmed people. Yeah, they're great. But, guerrilla warfare, not good. The BRICS is, people who watch this show know what BRICS are. So, why don't you educate somebody? I ain't got time for this. I'm dealing with this unexpected wake and bake. You weren't here for that. Yeah, I accidentally got high this morning. Film at 11. So new poll about planned U.S. missile deployment to Germany shows that more Germans are opposed to the idea than favor it. The U.S. recently announced that starting in 2026, of course, they'll be deploying missile systems that were previously banned by the INF Treaty, which prohibited land-based missile systems with a range between 310 and 340 miles. The poll conducted by the Forza Institute found that 49% of Germans, less than half, think the new missile deployment is not right, while 45% support the idea. Opposition is stronger among Germans living in states that used to be East Germany, with 74% of them against the plan. See, because East Germany used to be communist, and they know what the Russians can do. They're like, don't you put those fucking missiles over here. No. That's 74% of them. I'm sure the other 26% of those East Germans are just new and have no idea about even recent history. The U.S. announced the deployment in a joint statement with Germany, but German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is facing opposition to the plan from within his own party and coalition government. Not every weapon makes Germany immediately safer, Rolf Mutzenich, the parliamentary leader of Scholz's Social Democratic Party. They really shouldn't have democratic parties in Germany. They're not a good name. Or social. Don't. Anyway, to Politico. He previously warned that the danger of an unintentional military escalation is considerable. Exactly. And that's what is going on. You got this buildup over there. These people, thank goodness to know that they know that not everybody's sheep, right? That some people are paying attention and are saying, hey, look, don't put those things over here, But that's the thing. It's like unions, right? Unions are great, but it's always the union leaders that were sold out and bought out, right? The countries themselves are, more or less kind of like us, like over 60% of people want free health care and all that, all the social programs that a lot of people on the left want, but the mainstream media will tell you differently, But, it's nice to see that Germany, with all this bullshit that's been going on, at least it's people, some of their people at least have some common sense. What's this? All right, so the other day we told you about the assassination of one Hamas leader over there in Iran, Haniyeh. I think Haniyeh. I think it's Haniyeh. That's how you pronounce it. Was assassinated, and and a lot of the world leaders talking about this, saying, hey, and this is what's making a lot of the tense situations more tense. So this is from Press TV. This is the foreign minister Lavrov says Haniyeh assassination unacceptable in talks with the Iran foreign minister. So Sergei Lavrov has denounced as unacceptable the assassination of the head of the political bureau of the Hamas resistance movement, Ismail Haniyeh, in Tehran, warning of its extremely dangerous consequences. In a telephone conversation with Iran's interim foreign minister Ali Bagheri Khani on Thursday evening, and I tell you, I don't do a lot of these Middle Eastern stories just so I can torture myself with the words and the names. I really do try to do these names right, but once you get to live action, anything goes. On Thursday, both sides expressed their condemnation of the killing of the Hamas leader and pointed out that the extremely dangerous repercussions of such actions in relation to simmering tensions in West Asia and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The two top diplomats noted that the architects of this provocative move wished to cease the negotiation process over a ceasefire in Gaza with such a step, stressing that the U.S. is militarily involved in all Israeli attempts to slide UN Security Council resolutions on formation of a Palestinian state into oblivion. Lavrov also called upon all parties that can influence the situation in the Gaza Strip and West Asia to avoid any action that could cause further destabilization and loss of lives. So he's asking for cooler heads to prevail because he knows that Israel is totally picking this fight. They want this fight because they want an all-out war. Because of the the fairy tale book. What's up, Choosy? So he was in Iran. Haniyeh was in Tehran to attend the swearing-in ceremony of Iran's newly elected president, Masoud Pezeshkian, alongside other axis of resistance leaders, who was martyred alongside with his bodyguard in an attack early on Wednesday. And apparently his whole family got wiped out too. Grandsons, like 100 of his people, gone, right? And his assassination is being looked into as oops, that's not the right one. Hold, please. There was an article here where they were talking about, where is it? Did I not load it? Okay. I guess I didn't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I don't know why that's down there. Let me put this over here. Science. Okay, there we go. So, apparently the bomb that killed Haniyeh was this is wild. So Dave DeCamp once again. According to the New York Times, he was killed by a bomb Israel planted in Tehran 2 months ago. So, like I said, he was in town for the inauguration of the new Iranian president, and he had stayed at the same guest house in previous visits. So there was a pattern. They figured he was going to be staying there again. But wait a minute. What else happened 2 months ago? Wasn't that when the dude got assassinated? The president got assassinated? So if it was planted 2 months ago, how would they know that guy was going to be there? I mean, I guess he's there all the time, but I don't know. That's a little rabbit hole to go down. But so he was killed by a bomb Israeli intelligence planted at an official guest residency in Tehran about 2 months ago, according to the New York Times. He was in Tehran for the inauguration and had stayed at the guest resident on previous visits, the Times report, which cited 5 Middle East officials, 2 Iranian officials, and 1 American. It said the bomb was detonated remotely when it was confirmed he was in a room at the guest house. The explosion killed him and his bodyguard at about 2 a.m. local time. Hamas officials initially said a missile struck the building, but there was no sign of Israeli warplane activity in the area. I don't know, Hamas, maybe it was a plane because, you know, planes fly into buildings all the time around here. The Pentagon, you know, that people said that was a missile too. It's like, yeah, it probably was a missile. Again, another rabbit hole. So they said he was killed by a bomb planted at the guest house in advance by the Israeli spy agency Mossad. The residency was heavily guarded by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and the assassination demonstrates the Mossad's deep reach within the Islamic Republic. Israel has a history of conducting covert attacks inside Iran, including assassinations with gunmen, small drone attacks, and similar operations involving explosives. Israel's been responsible for several explosions inside Iran's Natanz civilian nuclear facility. Now, so yeah, they knew in advance that he was going to be there. To at least, like I said, maybe they just planted it, and then it's oh, he's going to be here. And it was just like one of these indefinite kind of things, or maybe they knew he was going to be there in 2 months. I don't know. Sounds crazy. Meanwhile, in Turkey, you know, if you like your censorship international flavored, the Cradle's got it for you here. Turkey bans Instagram following accusations of anti-Palestine censorship. A Turkish official says Instagram is censoring posts mourning Israel's assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh. This is the Turkish communications official, Fahrettin Altan. There he is. Nice glasses. Turkey blocked access to Instagram on today, August 2nd. It's probably tomorrow there. So it was probably yesterday for them. After allegations, the U.S.-based social media platform censored posts mourning the death of Haniyeh earlier this week. So Turkey's infotech regulator, the Information Technologies and Communication Authority, BTK, announced the ban on its website on Friday without providing a reason or a timetable. On Wednesday, Turkish communications official, that handsome gentleman we saw up there, Mr. Altan, criticized Instagram for what he called its decision to block condolence posts for Haniyeh, who was assassinated in Iran by Israel while attending the inauguration ceremony for Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on the 31st of July. This is censorship, pure and simple, Altan, the communications director, he wrote on X, adding, that's tweeters, adding that Instagram had not cited any policy violations for its actions. Welcome to the internet, Turkey. They don't tell you shit. If they take down something, you go, why'd you take this down? Community stuff. What specifically? Crickets. So there was no immediate comment from Meta Platforms Incorporated, Instagram and Facebook's parent company. Yesterday, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim criticized Meta over its censorship policy. Anwar said in a statement that the company was rude and insulting after it once again removed videos, messages of condolences and criticism regarding the killing of Haniyeh from Anwar's social media accounts. They're all in cahoots. In a separate statement, the Malaysian Prime Minister's office said Meta's actions clearly show discrimination against the situation in Palestine and its leaders. Right? Yeah. Yeah, and you see that. You see it on you see Facebook, same people, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So Meta has a history of censoring pro-Palestine content before the October 7th. In September, Al Jazeera's investigative show Tip of the Iceberg reported on the pro-Israel bias of Instagram and Facebook. The Arabic episode examined how Facebook's content moderation system and oversight board have led to the deletion and suspension of thousands of posts and accounts related to Palestinians since 2016. And these go right along with the arrests on campus. These campuses, like people getting fired. There's some lady over in the Scotland school. She got fired because, she said she just wanted to, stop the killing. And they said, well, we're gonna stop the employment. So anyway, people have been waiting on a response. The people in Israel, that is, are waiting on a response from Hezbollah after they killed. Let me get to that one first because one moment, please. Okay, so we were wondering about this the other day about the one of the Hezbollah leaders had been killed in that strike in Lebanon. So again, our friend and nemesis Dave DeCamp. So Hezbollah confirms its commander killed in Israeli airstrike on Beirut. On Wednesday, Hezbollah confirmed that one of its most senior military commanders, Fouad Shakur, was killed by an Israeli airstrike that hit a residential building in the southern suburbs of Beirut on Tuesday. Lebanese sources told Reuters that Shakur's body was found in the rubble on Wednesday evening, and at least 2 women and 2 children were also killed in the strike. Shakur was a founding member of Hezbollah. According to Lebanon's Al-Mayadeen, he was one of Hezbollah's Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah's closest advisors. So there was speculation if he had been killed because there was those images of somebody being carted into like a hospital or something, and it looked like him, but it didn't look like he was dead, but his eyes weren't open either, so they didn't know if he was alive. So anyway, so he's been confirmed dead. So they didn't know the other day. They said he wasn't, but I think now Hezbollah has confirmed that too. So we were talking about Hezbollah and how they were going to respond, right? So they had hinted that they were going to be kind of thinking outside the box on this one. It might turn into a full-blown thing, right? Do we get a little poll here? Some of you's doing this. Will Hezbollah attack Tel Aviv this weekend? 83% said yeah. Because, technically they've attacked Israel. They attacked them last night, as a matter of fact. This is from Press TV. Israel sustains deadly aggression on Lebanon. Hezbollah responds with dozens of rockets. I think. So this is going into, I think those were going into the West Galilee. I think they mentioned something like that. So that was last night, and that dog said, "Go bombs, go! Go bombs, go! Don't go after that bomb, dog. That is not a bone." The Israeli, this is from Press TV. Israeli regime sustains its deadly aggression against southern Lebanon. Okay, we just read that. Yesterday, Israeli airstrike targeted a residence accommodating a Syrian family in the town of Chama in the country's Tiri district, Lebanon's health ministry reported. 4 Syrians were killed and 5 Lebanese nationals wounded in the attack. Later in the day, Hezbollah released a statement saying it had fired dozens of Katyusha rockets at the settlement of Metzuba in the northern part of the occupied Palestinian territories. Various reports said the movement had fired around 60 rockets toward the territories during the retaliation. The Israeli attack came only 2 days after a similar strike by the regime targeting a building, as we told you about Shakura, who they confirmed is dead, and the assassination of Haniyeh. Yeah, so they had just recently said they had entered a new phase after the dual assassinations, and this is the new phase. But I don't think that is the end of it. I think they're being very restrained, it looks like. I think that from one report, I can't remember what it was. So, I mean, this is unofficial, but I think they said out of the 60 that they fired, they knocked down about a quarter of them, and then the 75% went through. Yeah. So yeah, this whole thing, man, it's really teetering on the patience of Hezbollah at this point. You know, because Israel is like the Chihuahua that's best friends with the pit bull, right? And so the Chihuahua just barks at you like he's the big dog, because he knows the big dog's going to protect him. But then all of a sudden the big dog's over there taking a shit, and the little dog is left there yapping. All of a sudden this other big dog, well, not a big dog, but bigger than that dog, comes over and is like, delicious, right? That's the way it is. And this yapping dog is probably about to get some teeth, because people around the world, like these world leaders, don't know what the fuck's going on. Or they do, but they're not telling anybody. So the UN Security Council members fear all-out war after Haniyeh's killing in Iran. Palestine urges world not to let Israel drag us all to the abyss, while Iran pledges to respond decisively to Hamas leader's death in Tehran. So that's just Hezbollah last night. It wasn't Iran. Countries of the UN Security Council have condemned the assassination of Haniyeh in Iran and called for stepped-up diplomatic efforts to prevent an all-out war in the Middle East. The Security Council's emergency meeting on Wednesday came as Iran and Hamas, the Palestinian groups that governs the war-torn Gaza Strip, blamed Israel for Haniyeh's death and pledged to seek revenge. Israel has not admitted responsibility for the attack in Tehran. Of course not. Haniyeh's assassination occurred less than 24 hours after Shakir was assassinated in that air raid in Lebanon. Israel claimed the attack was in retaliation for a rocket assault that killed 12 children and young people from the Druze community in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, right? That was that story about, yeah, and it turns out it was more likely it was these failed Iron Dome rockets that did it, because they had, that's the one we said we had footage from May. They had footage from May of the same place, and these rockets just going all tits up, man. Yeah. We got a rocket here. I did not know. Stoner mode is not good for broadcast. If you got in here. Oh, look, it's the Choosy Show in the chat. Be sure to read that novel at your convenience if you're at the airport waiting on your flight. Speaking of flights, you ain't going to Israel. Not no airplane. This is from the Cradle. International Airlines cancels flights to Israel, further threatening battered industries. That's right. Tourism is like one of their big things. Besides genocide, that's their number one industry in Israel. Tourism's number two. And nobody wants to come see the genocide, apparently. So, or die. I think the death part is the one they don't want. Hezbollah and Iran have promised to retaliate for Israel's killing of Hamas, and Hezbollah leaders raising fears of an attack on Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport. Look at all those Middle Eastern people. This one in particular. So Middle Eastern looking. International airlines are canceling service to Israel for fears of a wide-ranging Hezbollah attack following Israel's assassinations of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran and Hezbollah military chief Fad Shakur in Beirut. Airways magazine reported, in Airways magazine, that thing in the pouch in front of your seat. And if you're too cheap to watch the movie or whatever, you just read. I think it's got to be something else. Lufthansa and Fly Dubai suspended their services to Israel yesterday, while United Airlines, Delta Airlines, and British Airways canceled service on July 31st. Air India, the only foreign carrier flying between Israel and East Asia, has also canceled its flights. United Airlines said its route between Newark Airport in the city of New Jersey. That New Jersey's not a city. That's a state. Damn, Cradle, get your shit right. All right, United Airlines said its route between Newark Airport in Jersey and the Israeli capital Tel Aviv would remain suspended until further notice. I had to finish the sentence out with that Jersey accent. So yeah, Israel's national airline El Al has not canceled flights to and from Israel. Low-cost carriers Wizz Air, WIZZ, piss on radio, and Ryanair. Is that Ryan Gosling? Is that Deadpool? Who is that? Ryanair are still operating flights to Israel as scheduled, but are monitoring the situation carefully. Hezbollah and Iran have vowed to retaliate for Israel's killing. All right. And they have previously vowed to attack Tel Aviv if Beirut is attacked. Well, Beirut was attacked. Israel's the airport there, the Ben Gurion airport, is a possible target for missiles, rockets, and drones. The Israeli Airports Authority stated the security situation allows flights from and to Israel. Some foreign carriers are suspending and reducing their flights to Israel for internal reasons. Travelers should consider that their return to Israel may be delayed. Be in contact with the carrier and stay updated about the flight. So if you're trying to get back to Israel, first off, why? Second, good luck with that. Here. Due to the cancellations, many Israelis are stranded abroad and must seek a way to return. Israeli carriers have agreed to add flights from Athens so that Israelis wishing to return to Israel can fly home from Greece. So yeah, get greased up and head home, because you're about to get fucked up if you go back there. Back here at home, our State Department said, y'all don't need to go over there neither. This is from the horse's mouth. Not Cenk Uyghur's girlfriend. the horse's mouth, because she ate. This is from the State Department. This is the official from the government. You can go to travel.state.gov. Lebanon travel advisory. We're at level 4. Do not travel. All right. So all you Yankees over here, listen up. You're thinking about going to see the genocide, front row seat. Yeah, you might want to listen to the government. At least in this case. Okay. So it says, do not travel to Lebanon due to rising tensions between Hezbollah and Israel. If you are in Lebanon, be prepared to shelter in place should the situation deteriorate. The U.S. Embassy strongly encourages U.S. citizens who are already in southern Lebanon, near the borders with Syria, and or in refugee settlements to depart. Do not travel to Lebanon due to crime, terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, unexploded landmines, and the risk of armed conflict. Plus, the Denny's is closed temporarily, but not due to war. It's just for lack of interest by the people. Some areas, especially near the borders, have increased risk. Read the entire travel advisory. You will read it. You will eat some bugs, and you will read the travel advisory. This is a country summary. U.S. citizens already in Lebanon should be aware of the risks of remaining in the country and review their personal security plans. So yeah, they're selling them. Yeah, shelter in place. This is from The Hill, your favorites. Biden administration on Wednesday urged people in Lebanon, the Americans, to shelter in place. They updated its travel advisory for the entire country of Lebanon, not just Beirut. So Israel claimed responsibility for the killing of the top Hezbollah commander in Beirut on Wednesday in retaliation for the Hezbollah strike that we were talking about in Syria. But a suspected Israeli strike against top Hamas officials has escalated tensions higher, with Iran vowing a response. So it's a powder keg over there. Where are we? Let's see. So at first it was Delta, I think it was Delta, and then United, and then all these other airlines started following suit. That is. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So if you're traveling over there, I don't know, in a twisted, dark humor sort of way, you kind of have to feel bad for that future colonizer living in Brooklyn Heights, who's just, his cousin Murray told him about this sweet spot, where, it was only a few bombs dropped there, but, it's prime real estate. He was ready to go. And then they said, can't go. Sorry, colonizer. Tricks are for kids. I don't know what that means. Speaking of not flying, remember 9/11? I say that with nervous laughter because the three-letter agencies are out there. But turns out, I thought these guys were dead, seriously. And they may very well be. Maybe we should have put this in the propaganda watch. So this is from Al Jazeera. They said U.S. reaches plea deals with 9/11 accused, including Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. KSM, as the press was calling him, because they too lazy to type out his name the whole time. Mohammed and two other defendants likely to enter a formal plea next week over attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people. So the U.S. announced plea agreements with the three men held in Guantanamo accused of plotting the September 11th attacks, including alleged mastermind KSM. Pentagon did not release full details of the deals involving Mohammed, Walid bin Attash, and Mustafa al-Hawsawi, but U.S. media reported the three would plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence rather than the death penalty. So they're going to plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence, right? Why would they be pleading guilty now? What's the timing? Yeah, Ed, that's a good point. Weren't they all waterboarded into false confessions? But it's interesting, the timing. They were due to face trial in a military court at the maximum security facility, but their cases have been bogged down in legal maneuvering for years. Karen Greenberg, the director of the Center on National Security at the Fordham University School of Law, said the deals were a significant development. It means a lot, she said. It means that this trial, which has been put off for 12 years, will not happen. Maybe that's the point. Now the trial is not going to happen. The issue has been resolved with this plea deal. It means the idea of bringing Guantanamo to closure is one step closer. Well, you got three guys out of there at least. The three men could appear in court as early as next week to formally enter their pleas. Mohammed was regarded as one of Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden's most trusted and intelligent lieutenants before he was captured in a covert operation in Pakistan in March 2003. He spent 3 years in secret CIA prisons before arriving in Guantanamo in 2006. An engineer who studied at a university in the United States, Mohammed was subjected to waterboarding 183 times while in CIA custody before he was sent to Guantanamo, and was also targeted by other forms of torture and coercive questioning. Then you have bin Attash. He was a Saudi of Yemeni origin, allegedly trained two of the hijackers who carried out the September 11th attacks. His interrogators said he confessed to buying the explosives and recruiting members of the team that killed 17 sailors in the attack on the USS Cole. Yeah, blew a hole in that ship. I remember that. And he was captured with Mohammed in 2003 and was also held in a network of secret CIA prisons, black sites. Housawi was suspected of managing the finances for the 9/11 attacks. He was arrested in Pakistan also in 2003 and was also held in secret prisons before he being transferred. Yeah. So why the plea deals now? Always ask questions. Even if you don't think there's a question there, you should probably ask a question, because there's a question there. And probably some shenanigans. So but wait, there's more 9/11 goodness. Please stay and watch. So the 20th hijacker, this is from the New York Times, from also archive.is, who says, fuck your paywall, New York Times. Sucker. You don't pay for garbage. We don't pay for propaganda around here. 20th hijacker seeks transfer from federal supermax to French prison. He wants to see the Olympics, I guess. No, that's not it. After 20 years in a supermax prison in Colorado, the only person to be convicted in connection with the 9/11 attacks wants to serve his life sentence in his homeland. So, Zacharias Moussaoui, 56, was arrested in Minnesota a month before the hijackings, which killed nearly 3,000 people, blah, blah, blah. For a time after the U.S. officials theorized he was the would-be 20th hijacker in the attacks carried out by 19 men, but later dropped that assertion. 2005, he pled guilty to conspiring to kill American citizens in a federal court case in Alexandria, Virginia. The jury sentenced him the next year to life imprisonment rather than the death sentence prosecutors had sought. He is held in solitary confinement at the federal supermax prison in Colorado with no possibility of release. Let's see. So they plan the Department of Justice plans to enforce this life sentence in U.S. custody. But in a July 10th notice to relatives of people who were killed in the attacks, the department invited comments on the request within 30 days. In a letter to President Biden and Attorney General Merrick Garland, dated July 25th, a dozen senators, led by Marco Rubio and Rick Scott of Florida, those snakes, said that no consideration whatsoever should be given to this convicted terrorist's preferences for where to serve his sentence. I mean, I'm thinking a French prison is probably not great either, but at least you're near the house, I guess. To be eligible, a prisoner must have no pending appeal or capital sentence, and their offense must be recognized as a crime in the receiving country. The Justice Department then decides whether such a transfer is appropriate. France would also have to consider the matter, but has not yet received an official request. Okay. So yeah, dude's trying to get back to France. And The U.S. said, no dice, precious. You get to stay in Colorado for the rest of your life, and none of those delicious Colorado nuggets. Slow nipple dick? What? Maybe the French food is better. That's right, Willie. That's why you went to France. You said, fuck that English food. I don't want to know that shit. An adventure indeed. So swinging things around to North Korea, and you know, if you remember when Trump was president before, and a lot of you do, some of you have tried to drink that out of your brain, but it ain't happening. He was, you may remember, he went to North Korea, right? And he was talking to the North Korean president there, and they met in the demilitarized zone there. And so according to a North Korean defector, this is from Kyle Anzalone over there at the Libertarian Institute. He's like, Visa, he's everywhere. He's also at antiwar.com. Both great sites. Check them out for good news, good foreign news. North Korean defector says Kim is willing to talk to Trump. Look at that. They're saying. A recent high-level North Korean defector said Pyongyang would be interested in talks with former U.S. President Donald Trump if he wins the November election. During his first term, Trump engaged Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un in negotiations that nearly secured major agreement. Senior North Korean diplomat Ri Il-gyum, who recently defected to South Korea, said he believes Kim would be willing to restart talks with Trump if he retakes the Oval Office. If not, he will face him in the squared circle at Madison Square Garden for WrestleMania 94. With special guest Gojira off with their head, and of course Crocus. Reassesses that the negotiations could be more successful during Trump's second term because Kim would take a different approach. Kim Jong-un doesn't know much about international relations and diplomacy or how to make strategic judgment, he said. That's not a good sales pitch. This time, the foreign ministry would definitely gain power and take charge, and it won't be so easy for Trump to tie North Korea's hands and feet again for 4 years without giving anything. Trump's foreign policy team will also likely have a major impact on the chances of success in negotiations. During the first round of talks between Trump and Kim, the two inked a deal that started to reduce tensions on the Korean Peninsula. However, during the second summit in Hanoi, Trump succumbed to the arguments from Uberhawk John Bolton. That's right, the human walrus, and presented Kim with an unworkable proposal, scuttling talks. That's because John Bolton is a piece of shit. He is a neocon, shitlib, shitcon. In fact, he goes to shitcon every year because it's a convention for shitcons. Ray believes Kim feels better positioned now that he did during the previous Trump administration. President Joe Biden has attempted to isolate Russia, policy in incentivizing Moscow to increase ties with Pyongyang. Ri says Kim no longer needs sanctions released because of the boosted DPRK Russia ties. That's right. So they were having him and Putin. Putin just came over and they had world leaders having coffee, driving cars or something. They had that video, the buddy movie video of them. Like, I think Putin's driving and Kim's like, whoa, it's a nutty ride. You know, you hear like Katrina in the waves in the background. This summer, your favorite buddy duo's back in another adventure. It's Kim and Vladdy together again for the first time. So yeah, but that's the thing though, that what they don't understand is it's like, it's all well and good if you just had Trump, but Trump being Trump is, and he doesn't drain the swamp. He brings another swamp with him. He's all full of swamps. Did you really? Did you get to the end? I'm just kidding. That ain't no end. My man like Game of Thrones, man. He's like George R.R. He'd be sitting there just writing shit all day long. Ah, Choosy, what's up, kid? So it really depends on who Trump gets. I mean, he gets Mike Pompeo back in there. It's going to be the same bullshit it was before. Come on, Speaking of swamps, down in Louisiana, they trying to protect their popo down there because, they love their popo because that popo protects that property. Know what I mean? That popo taking care of business down there. This is from Beirut. New Louisiana law serves as a warning to bystanders who film police stay away or face arrest. So Louisiana is the fourth state to enact a so-called police buffer law, which allows officers to order people to keep their distance. Journalists say the law will make it harder to document when police use excessive force. Oh, really? Wow, that is an awful side effect of this law that, I'm pretty sure that's what they thought about. 4 years before Minneapolis police officer murdered George Floyd, prompting nationwide demonstrations, hundreds of people marched in Baton Rouge to protest officers' killing of Alton Sterling in front of a convenience store. Law enforcement responded in force. Officers armed with rifles, body armor, and gas masks pushed protesters back and forcibly arrested about 200 people. Some were injured. A group of 13 protesters and 2 journalists filed suit alleging their constitutional rights were violated when they were arrested. Eventually, the city agreed to pay them $1.17 million. Photographs and videos taken by protesters, witnesses, and journalists were critical in contradicting officers' claims that protesters were the aggressors, said William Most, an attorney for the plaintiffs. So yesterday, a Louisiana law is going into effect that will make it a misdemeanor for anyone, including journalists, to be within 25 feet of a law enforcement officer if the officer orders them back. The 2 independent journalists who sued, whose photos were used to support allegations against the police, said they wouldn't have been able to capture those images if the law had been on the books during the protests. Exactly. Why do you think they made the law? That's not like logic. It's like, gee, why would they make this law? It's like, cause you busted their shit. And they want you busting their shit, man. Stay back. It's all, it give you a little misdemeanor, and it's enough of a deterrence to where you can't get like quality. And then they pull that shit where they playing like the copyrighted music too, so you can't put it online. You get the copyright strikes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that law went into effect yesterday, which was also the 300th day of the genocide in Palestine too. 300 days. Although it's been more than 300 days, but 300 days of this new kind of thing going on. Karen Savage was working for a news site focused on juvenile justice issues on the second day of the demonstrations in July 2016 when she photographed officers putting a black man in a chokehold as they detained him. Sherry Foytlin, who was working for a small newspaper and a community media project, said she was within 4 feet when she photographed officers violently dragging a black man off private property and arresting him. Foytlin and Savage said they are hesitant to cover protests in Louisiana now that they could face criminal charges if they're too close to an officer. Exactly. That's why they do it. For one thing, it's a scare off. So that they'll cut down your numbers of citizen journalists. People are like, hey, I'm not, I ain't got no stake in this. I'm just trying to get this, get some clicks, and they ain't going to risk that. Even, despite their reasons, they're getting it on there. And that's all that matters, right? Whatever their reasons. But a lot of them are going to be saying, well, nah, because of vain, and they're not about justice. They're about popularity and if they risk getting arrested, they're not going to do that. So that's part of the reason why they do shit like that. On Wednesday, a coalition of media companies representing a couple dozen Louisiana news outlets, including Beirut News, filed suit against Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill, State Police Superintendent Robert Hodges, and East Baton Rouge District Attorney Hiller Moore III, alleging the law violates the First Amendment. Fuck yeah, it violates the First Amendment. Especially if they know you're obvious press or you're obviously not a threat, right? But they'll say, oh, we need the space because, they're like, there may be some violent, whatever. Yeah, you're the one doing the violent whatever. Murrill said the law ensures law enforcement officers can do their jobs without being threatened or impeded by others. Yeah, like the qualified immunity. It's just more qualified immunity instead of less, right? She said she looks forward to defending this reasonable response to documented interference with law enforcement. State Police spokesperson Captain Nick Manali declined to comment on the suit. A representative from Moore did not respond to a request for comment. So, yeah. And this is the kind of shit that happens. They sneak this shit by you. I mean, yes, there are legitimate things going on, but of course those legitimate things are distracting you from the stuff that's also getting on the state level. So we have to expand our awareness of shit. That's kind of why we're doing this shit, because we're just trying to get out as many of these news stories as possible. And a lot of people don't want to go through and look for all these different things. So we're putting them together here for you. And, hopefully this helps. Hopefully more people do stuff. I want to see more just news shows. I think that would be peachy keen. I'd be totally down for that. And a bit of good news. Hopefully it's good news. I smell fuckery, but I hope it's good news. This from the AP. Black and other minority farmers are getting $2 billion from the USDA after years of discrimination. All right. And it's particularly for folks, most of these are for people in Mississippi and Alabama, where farmers in general get screwed anyway, but black farmers, and if you're not a white farmer there, yeah, it's still tough. Even in 2024. This was by Summer Ballantyne. That's a great name. Summer Ballantyne. Over here at the AP. I think this is U.S. News. Biden administration has doled out more than $2 billion in direct payments for black and other minority farmers discriminated against by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Shitty Pants announced on Wednesday. More than 23,000 farmers were approved for payments ranging from $10,000 to $500,000, according to the USDA. What's that? The U.S. Dairy Association. Another 20,000 who planned to start a farm but did not receive a USDA loan received between $3,500 and $6,000. As she said, most of those went to farmers in Mississippi and Alabama. USDA Secretary Tom Vilsack told reporters that the aid is not compensation for anyone's loss or the pain endured, but it is an acknowledgement by the department. The USDA has a long history of refusing to process loans from black farmers, approving smaller loans compared to white farmers, and in some cases foreclosing quicker than usual when black farmers who obtained loans ran into problems. And unfortunately, in those two areas, Mississippi and Alabama, it's a lot easier for that kind of thing to happen. There's a lot of abating. There's a lot of help getting that done, that repression. It's like putting a bandage on somebody that needs open heart surgery, Boyd said. We want our land, and I want to be very, very clear about it. Boyd is still fighting a federal lawsuit for 120% debt relief for black farmers that was approved by Congress in 2021. $5 billion for the program was included in the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 stimulus package, but the money never came. White farmers in several states filed lawsuits arguing their exclusion was a violation of their constitutional rights, which prompted judges to halt the program shortly after its passage. Faced with the likelihood of a lengthy court battle that would delay payments to farmers, Congress amended the law and offered financial help to a broader group of farmers. A new law allocated $3.1 billion to help farmers struggling with USDA-backed loans and $2.2 billion to pay farmers who the agency discriminated against. Wardell Carter, who was black, said no one in his farming family got so much as access to a loan application since Carter's father bought 85 acres of Mississippi land in 1939. He said USDA loan officers would slam the door in his face. If black farmers persisted, Carter said officers would have police come to their homes. Without a loan, Carter's family could not afford a tractor and instead used a horse and mule for years, and without proper equipment, the family could farm at most 40 acres of their property, cutting profits. That goes back to Tulsa, too. But the Black Wall Street, where, oppressing black interests, business interests, When they finally received a bank loan to buy a tractor, Carter said the interest rate was 100%. Boyd said he watched his loan applications were torn up and thrown in the trash, been called racial epithets, and was told to leave in the middle of loan meetings so the officer could speak to white farmers. Yeah. I mean, $2 billion, that's nice, but as we all know, there needs to be a hell of a lot more. I'm a believer in some form of reparations, not just for all people. The people we stole the land from originally. I think you should go back to that. If you want a clean slate, that's what you're going to have to do. You have to try to make amends. You cannot make amends for the murder and the rape and the dehumanization that generations before you did. But you got to make an effort, and it's got to be decent. Otherwise, you ain't never going to have trust. And this country will always be divided. All right. Who likes seeing Republicans getting ripped off? Do you? You like that kind of thing? Yeah, you squirrely bastard. So, much like Act Blue, Republican PAC Win Red misleads U.S. consumers into recurring donations. So this is part of our scammy update. Although there's one where it's like people were scammed, and I think they're going to get some sort of redemption there. But we'll get to that in a second. So WinRed has been under the lens of attorneys general in 4 U.S. states for its deceptive marketing tactics. James Frank Clark is a lifelong Republican who lives in Texas. He spends his time between his home in a suburb northwest of Houston and a small town called Kerrville, northwest of San Antonio. I hope I said that right, Rick. Osama number 5, hello. Hey, Denver, good to see you as well over there on the Rock Fiends, my Rock Fiends. And Wayne Lopez trying to push that Rick Simpson oil. I'm telling you, you should get that Rick Simpson over there on the Rockfin. That Rick Simpson cannabis oil is really good. A lot of medicinal benefits. It's a tincture, So you just put it under your tongue, bing, bang, bing, or put it in some food. It's great. Anyway, they're not a sponsor. I just like the shit. So he lives in fairly conservative areas, so it's no surprise his candidate's choice are Republicans. That's why he signed up to donate to GOP candidates through WinRed, an overarching political action committee that donates to Republican candidates across the United States. Right? So they take all these donations, and then they you donate your maximum to Act Blue, and then they take all the money and bundle it, and then they do shit with it. That's somehow legal. I don't know why. As far as he knew, he made a handful of small donations here and there, but that's not what ended up happening. The FEC, the Federal Election Commission, records show Clark made thousands of donations, including as recently as June of this year. According to his grandson, Colin, who shared the data with Al Jazeera, these were made without his grandfather's knowledge. They, WinRed, would come in and take $20 here and there, but then they would run that transaction somewhere between 50 and 200 times, Clark told Al Jazeera. WinRed is allegedly overcharging and prompting recurring donations from donors like Clark without their knowledge, a problem that overwhelmingly impacts elderly voters like him. This is an old problem with WinRed. And like we said, ActBlue does this shit too. This set up in 2019. It's been under the lens of attorneys general across 4 U.S. states since 2021 for overcharging consumers and deceiving them into donating more than they thought by using deceptive marketing practices. According to records obtained, the deceptive practices have continued in the lead up to the U.S. presidential elections in November. Of course, why would they stop? Endorsed by the Republican National Committee, WinRed has become the most prominent tool for Republican Party fundraising efforts. It is one of 2 major PACs, ActBlue being the other, as we said, for the Democrats, raising money for ballot races for their respective political sides. Both bombard donors with over-the-top emails and text messages from candidates and their surrogates. So both WinRed and ActBlue raise money for their respective parties, which they then distribute to various candidates. In Clark's case, WinRed put his donations towards committees ranging from those supporting Ted Cruz for the U.S. Senate and Donald Trump for president. Clark was charged almost 90 grand across 6 different credit cards, 3 of which had charges well over 20 grand as recently as the end of June, as per Clark's credit card statements. Communications with WinRed and FEC records showed. Clark showed Al Jazeera he had not logged into a WinRed account since 2022, which they verified. Even though Clark alleges that misleading text over the years led to this, WinRed refunded donations only from the last 60 days, which came out to a little more than $59,000, leaving Clark drained and furious. Well, I don't blame him. So yeah, they both do this, and there's and one of the things that goes on. You should probably read this if you want to know a little bit more about this in depth. But one of the things that they do, and you should look at you yourself. You don't have to be elderly like me to do this, right? Whenever you're getting a video game, yeah, ActBlue did get caught. You ripping off the shit libs too. They sure did, and they need to that whole bundling thing. And then one of the reasons they do this thing where they check a box for you, right, to say opt in to something, and you have to read and make sure that you have to uncheck it yourself, which is I don't know if that's illegal. It's very deceptive though. It's immoral as fuck to do that, but I think that's one of the things they're talking about. And the old people they're just like, oh, well, I gotta get my Trump in there. I gotta get Joe Biden or that Indian black lady, whatever the hell she is this week. We gotta give them the money. And they don't care. They don't read the fine print. And that's the thing. They get you with the fine print every fucking time. So the VA screwing over veterans. Ooh, there's a shock. It didn't used to be like that. But fortunately, there is a little redemption here. So this is from the Military Times. VA claim errors result in $100 million in incorrect payments. Right? So, and this happens a lot. My dad was a vet, and he got veterans benefits, and for years they screwed him over, but eventually they gave him the back pay, and then it was, but not a lot of these cats are getting that. So not a lot of these folks know about the veterans benefits. In fact, on November 11th, me and my buddy Seth Michael Pinder, as he's known in the trades, are going to try to get a Veterans Day show where we hopefully have somebody on that can help veterans, like, tell them what they need to get together so they can get benefits and stuff like that. So, so that's coming in November, and just be looking out for that. So Mistakes by employees at the Department of Veteran Affairs while processing claims for veterans rated as 100% disabled resulted in around $100 million in improper monthly compensation payments. So it wasn't like everybody's getting ripped off, though. It was like the roughly $9.8 million in overpayments, but it was the $84.7 million in underpayments to impacted veterans occurred as a result of claims processors not consistently following policies and procedures, the report said. If you know anything about the bureaucracy of the Veterans Administration, I love him or hate him, but John Stewart was he was always busting their nuts because they never could get their technologies together to talk to each other. It was always just a clusterfuck. A rating for 100% for compensation may be assigned even when the overall disability rating is less than 100%, but the veteran is considered to be unable to get and maintain a job due to service-connected disabilities. The watchdog team reviewed statistical samples and estimated that 74% of claims granted for those with that disability compensation rating and 76% of those denied between May 2022 and April 2023 had at least one claims processing error. That's a lot. 74%, 76% processing errors. Whether the Veterans Benefits Administration, the department's agency which handles the complex financial disbursements, is processing veterans' claims effectively enough, served as the subject of a House panel meeting last week. We have taken corrective action on 95% of all the cases identified in that report. We should have the remainder done here shortly, Ronald Burke Jr., the Deputy Undersecretary for Policy and Oversight at VBA, said during the hearing. The VA Watchdog report made several recommendations to improve accuracy in individual unemployability claims decisions, including updating guidance, enhancing information systems, improving training, and evaluating workload distribution. Since COVID-19 pandemic, in-person training has been replaced with virtual training that does not provide the tools needed for processors to succeed, according to Linda Parks Cooks from the Union American Federation of Government Employees. Right? Yeah, it's a clusterfuck with the VA when it comes to benefits like that. And you would think there would be better, we have much better technology as far as like processing it. If you want to make government jobs, hire more people. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to having one government worker per veteran. Let them take care of the veterans. They want, if you say you're going to take care of the veterans, take care of the veterans. I'm just saying. It's just an idea, though. Finally, right? We're deep into the 10:34 Central Time here. I forgot to add I do not know to the poll. No, man. We're not having any fence sitters. No fence. Either know or you don't. All right? Nostradamus. Bip, bip, bip. If you're going to be in the Chicagoland area, make sure you get a nice Italian sausage and make your way down there to Grant Park where you can't get in because all the tickets are sold. But it's Lollapalooza ass back here. Marge and the kids are gonna go out there. They're gonna put the shit in the car and we're gonna head out that way. So yeah, Lollapalooza returns to Chicago this weekend. It started yesterday actually. I think they got rained out last night. There was a lot of stuff, rain in the air, I should say. The festival is August 1st through 4th at Grant Park. Its headliners include Megan Thee Stallion, SZA or SZA, as probably no one calls them, Blink-182 because they really need the work, The Killers, Future, X, Metro Boomin, and more. And look at all these happy kids. Look at this. Look, he got the hat. And this girl is a nice little thing. He's got this. Lollapalooza returns to Chicago's front yard this week for 4 days of jam-packed talent across all genres. The festival is 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday through Sunday across 8 stages in Grant Park, 337 East Randolph Street. So yeah, it's the thing Perry Farrell and some of his buddies put together from Jane's Addiction, Pornos for Pyros. I don't know if they're playing though. I don't think they are. So is it SZA? Did I say that right? Why are you boycotting the pole desert? Don't be like that. You fucking fence sitter. So SCA says, whatever you say, Megan Thee Stallion and all these fuckers. Stray Kids, Melanie Martinez, and Skrillex are among the headliners. Skrillex? Really? Headlining? There are 170 other artists performing at Lollapalooza. Among them are the Deftones, or what's left of them, Zed, Dominic Fike, Labyrinth, Pierce the Veil, Freako, Sir, Tyla, The Japanese House, Renee Rapp, Sexy Red, Kesha. They misspelled Kesha because Kesha, I know that she's supposed to have a $sign in there. Right here. Nah. Fail, whatever this is. What was this? Block Club Chicago? Fail. More like Hip Replacement. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, if you got tickets, that's great. If you don't, you're pretty much fucked. Because I think, and Hippocampus, I forgot to say. So as of Monday afternoon, most 2- and 4-day tickets were sold out. Some one-day general admission, VIP, and platinum tickets were still available. Sunday general admission tickets start at $155. So here's the layout, and all the people around the area are like, because this is like a park, and there's like neighborhoods and stuff, and people are like, dude, you're taking away our park for 4 days for some Megan Thee Stallion. You'd burn your tickets if you had them. Or you say Kesha chose to drop the $sign when she wasn't bringing in any. What? You throwing shade at Kesha? You're such a hater. Yeah, so all these places are getting blocked off. What you can bring, people can bring clear bags smaller than 12 by 6 by 12 inches. Fanny packs and clutch purses smaller than that do not need to be clear, but must only have one pocket, according to the organizer, who had a little mustache and the hair was parted like that. No outside liquids allowed on the site. Free water will be provided at hydration stations across festival grounds. Hydration packs are allowed and do not need to be clear. What's a hydration pack? But they must be emptied of all liquid and have no more than 2 pockets in addition to the one holding the water reservoir, according to the festival. And then there's the bag policy if you want to drive ice picks into your eyeballs. Items such as coolers, blankets, aerosol cans, and umbrellas are not allowed. Look at that. It's a rainbow of hate. No, it's not. So yeah, all these shits is closed. You could go to Block Club Chicago and find all this bullshit. All right. So enough of that. I've kept you long enough. Willie, are you still here? Hey, Mariana. What's up? Good to see you. It rains every Lala, and it's about to rain again in a bit. That's right. Yeah, it poured last night. They got a lot of rain last night. It's going to be Slopapalooza is what's going to be. You can't have umbrellas in Chicago. It's a windy city, man. Those things blow away. You might as well just make those umbrellas out of money. Yeah, so anyway, I thank everybody here. I don't know who was here before the Choosy novel, so those chats are gone. Oh, Choosy dropping a 2 spot. I didn't even see that, Choosy, you look, if you're gonna be dropping cash in here, I gotta find out where it is. Anyway, I'll just read it. So he said, what did he say? I'll give it a heart and a like. A third of the way to a Wawa footlong for $2. Thanks, man. I don't know what that means, but I love it. Cause I feel like that kid from Better Off Dead. I said, give me my $2. And Choosy said, here's $2. I said, all right. So I think Willie's got a show tonight. I don't know, but check your local listings. He's trying to do Monday and Wednesday and Friday evenings, I believe. And next Tuesday, I think, is when Braglands is supposed to come back. Fun story. They had to postpone it because on Jimmy's end, they had dudes like with chainsaws cutting off like power pole tips and doing all kinds of loud shit outside. So they couldn't you've been like her and just going you know. I mean, she sounds like a battle axe, but not a chainsaw. Hey, right there, you got... No, I'm kidding. She's not a battle axe at all. I don't even know what that means. Bella, from hell's heart, I spit at thee. I shall leave you as you left her. Buried, was it marooned in the center of a dead planet, buried alive. John! Space Rock. John! Yeah, you know what's up. And of course, around the world with D and friends tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. That's it for us. Might do some gaming this weekend. We'll see. We love you too, Teresa. Thank you, sweetheart. Y'all have a great weekend. The old battle axe that I call my boss. Y'all have a great weekend. Don't buy the bullshit. Stay out of cults. Use your critical thinking skills. All right? I just give you this stuff. You go take it and take the knowledge and run with it. All right? Ciao bueno. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
This is City Alpha 5. Woo! Damn good song, wasn't it, dog? You like that song? All right.